Those are scores of aggrieved customers of Menzgold who picketed this morning at the Economic and Organized Crime Office EOCO to demand a full disclosure on the seized properties belonging to Menzgold CEO Nana Appiah Mensah, also known as Nam1. The group moved from Art Center to EOCO amid singing, chanting, drumming and dancing. These customers who spoke to JoyNews told us the past 8 months have been the most difficult as they have had to rely on friends to survive.
It is not easy for us at all, not me alone, all the customers. Now people are dying. We had an information, we have it on our record that 15 people has died. So it is not easy. Even to take care of homes is not easy. Right now I can't pay for my kids' school fees, and we don't live in a country like that. We the leaders of CACM had an information that some government officials are going to EOCO to take what? To take the asset to their homes. To take the asset to their home. So we are sending a very strong signal to them that they should bring the asset back. Otherwise, we will strike on them.
Because me anyway, we are ready for our money. We need our money. We are suffering.
Not easy. It's not easy. Since last year, August, it's not easy. My family and I will cry every day. We cry every day. How can I invest 200,000 Ghana cedi? 200,000 Ghana cedi. Yet, when they break, I find it difficult to eat. As at now, I don't have even 100 Ghana cedi on me. How can I? A rich man. A rich man. Last year by this time, I was having 200,000 Ghana cedi on me. Who said when you are in the country we don't invest? We invest. Investment is your future. Investment is your backbone. So are you telling me I shouldn't invest again? Are you telling me I should dig ground and put my money on ground? No.
Let's use your platform to tell government that we are not interested in the whereabouts of Nam1. That is not what we are interested. What we want is our money. Sorry. If Nam1 is jailed for 40 years, we don't care. What we want is our money. So as to whether Interpol is holding Nam1, Interpol is keeping Nam1 where we are never interested. It's our money. It's a straightforward issue. And let no any individual sit anywhere and think, oh, these people are going to shout for a while and they will keep quiet. The normal Ghanaian attitude. No, we aren't going to do that. We'll be on the street and we'll continue to be on the street until we get our money.
So those are some of the aggrieved customers earlier speaking to my colleague Nancy Emefa Chaudosi, where more of them have been speaking to us, including a member of the communications team, Isaac Nyako. He said they need EOCO to tell them how many assets they have seized and the total amount of money in the account of Menzgold that have been frozen.
Yeah, we've decided to pick it at EOCO because EOCO has gone for mandates from the court to preserve Nam1 assets and Menzgold items. Today we are here demanding from EOCO for fairness and transparency, that they publish the list of the assets that they claim to have confiscated, the various amounts in the various accounts that they claim to have confiscated. Today we want fairness. We want fairness and transparency. Just the way they handled the Ayawaso issue with public hearing, the same way we want to ensure that this issue becomes a public matter and that the publication of the assets and then the accounts in the public domain will bring fairness. We don't want some big men to hide behind and then the assets be sold to some few big men at a cheaper cost. We want to know the various values of the assets. By publication, we can tell whether those assets can pay us or cannot pay us. We know that they can do that. And that is why we are demanding EOCO to come out publicly. This can no more be a private issue. It's a public matter, and it should be handled as such. We need this issue to be handled as a public matter, and public hearing should be given to it. Of course, you tell us that probably maybe a day or two they will come out with a list publicly. They will issue as the press statement and list the assets of Menzgold and Namwa and its management team in the public domain. And then they will publish the various accounts and the values in the accounts for people to know that this is the value of Namwan and its assets, so that we can justify with the assets of the private jet and the other assets whether those things can pay us.
He's a member of the communication team for the aggrieved customers of Menzgold. Well, after an hour in a meeting with EOCO, the deputy director of EOCO in charge of operations, Nana Enchi, told the media it was unable to grant the demands by the group, except to assure them that the assets of Namwan were going to be preserved.
I stand here to speak on behalf of EOCO. I'm to inform you that we requested to talk to your leadership. They came very well. They handed over the petition. We went through the petition with them. There are some of the issues we were able to address. There are others, we made them aware that it was not within our purview to speak to them, to the issues. Okay? But there was one fine assurance. The assurance is that we have and will continue to use the information all of you are giving us to preserve the properties of that company that has run into challenges for which you are here today. That one we will do. There's supposed to be a way forward beyond that. We have hinted your leadership, and they will inform you at the appropriate time.
So what has been told the leadership that they will in turn pass on to the other customers at the appropriate time? I've been joined in the studio by one of the aggrieved customers of Menzgold. His name is Fred Forson. He's with the coalition of aggrieved customers. I'll also be joined via Skype by Amanda Clinton, lawyer of for some of the aggrieved customers. But before then, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service Headquarters, CID boss Mami Tiwa Adudankwa, told the media today that police is yet to formally charge and put the boss of Menzgold, the gold dealership company Menzgold, before a court in Ghana, because the suspect, Appiah Mensah, also known as Nam1, is facing other charges in the United Arab Emirates. She says until the case in Dubai is over, the Ghana Police Service cannot get hold of Appiah Mensah.
I think the last time that you had a brief, we were told that Nam1 was in Dubai in a private case. On the 4th of March, Nam1 was granted bail, and there was some conditions for his bail. On 25th of March, he was able to execute the bail, and 25th, the lawyers actually obtained the letter for his release. Due to the red alert notice on him, he was re-arrested on the instructions of Interpol. The Dubai police has gone ahead to obtain a local warrant of arrest based on the Interpol red notice. He is currently in custody at the Dubai police station. And that case, even though he's on bail, hasn't ended. They will continue to produce him before the court until that case is over, before he's handed over to Ghana. We are in touch with the Dubai police and everything is on course.
Mami Tiwa is the head of CID there. Well, let's speak to one of the leaders of the coalition of aggrieved customers of Menzgold, as I indicated earlier, Fred Forson, who joins me in the studio. And on Skype, I'll let you know when we have Amanda Clinton, who is lawyer for some of the aggrieved customers, so we can have this conversation. Mr. Forson, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Now, I'll go into the petition that you had written, that you presented to EOCO today. But quickly, what do you know that we don't know as far as the assets of Nam1 is concerned? Because when we listen to your colleagues there, most of them are saying there is somebody trying to take possession of the assets of Nam1. Who is this person?
Oh, well, we also act on information, and this work is basically being driven by the tip-offs that we get.
Okay.
And as time goes on, when we get any information, we try to pass it on to the EOCO people, because we are told they are one of the officially mandated institutions that are going into the assets of Menzgold.
Okay.
And to answer directly what we know that perhaps some other people don't know, today we were surprised to learn that EOCO is not investigating Menzgold. All along we had thought that EOCO was investigating Menzgold. But today at our meeting with the leadership of EOCO, it came out that they are not investigating Menzgold. But what they are doing presently was that they went for a court order, for a preservation order, to preserve the assets of Menzgold.
Okay, so let's break it down. First of all, they told you that they are not investigating Menzgold.
Yes.
Did they explain to you what that means?
Yeah, it means that nobody has launched any complaint before them, neither the government or nor the customers of Menzgold. There is no complaint before them to investigate Menzgold.
Okay.
But they looking at the...
So hold on, sorry to cut you. Essentially, there is no investigation at EOCO looking into how Nam1 or Nana Appiah Mensah spent the money, where he puts those money. There is no investigation like that.
And that is a very big news to us, honestly. And we press it on, and even at the demonstration today, we requested the media to help us find answers from the authorities that be. Because all along we know, we were thinking that EOCO was investigating Menzgold, and that's how come they went to court for the order to freeze their accounts and the rest of them.
They told you that they are not investigating Menzgold. What they're doing is preserving the assets. Did they explain that to you as well?
Yes,
what does
preserving the assets in the event that Nana Appiah Mensah fails to pay the customers. Then the state can lay hands on those assets, and if those assets are liquidated, then perhaps it could be used to pay the customers of Menzgold.
That makes sense. Doesn't it make sense to you?
It makes sense, yes, but we thought that they were actually investigating Menzgold. So we even posed a question that, we heard that last year, like the CID boss said, when the news broke, we heard there was a government delegation or a national security delegation or something, which included officials from EOCO to Dubai. And that one too, it came out that that was not the case. They had never visited Dubai, and so for them, there is nothing that they are doing about. They are not investigating Menzgold. However, like the deputy CEO said, they rely on tip-off from us, the information that we give them. If there are other assets or properties of Menzgold that we give them information about, then they will go after them to preserve them for future actions to be taken on them. Yes.
Okay. So the response by the EOCO came after you presented your petition to them. Am I right?
And when we were, but after we presented the petition, which were 4 points in all, they told that the first, I don't know if I have your permission.
I can read through it for you. So now it reads, Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Menzgold, and it says petition. Now this is what it's written. We write on behalf of the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers of Menzgold, Ghana, an association duly registered by the Registrar General. Registrar General. So that's a mistake. Yeah. So registered by the Registrar General's Department of the Republic of Ghana, and which represents many of the customers of Menzgold. We have followed keenly with interest and acknowledge the very important role the Economic and Organized Crime Office is playing to have our locked up funds at Menzgold released. Now that point is out because they say that is not what they're working on at the moment. You go on to say that we note the move by your office for a preservation order, which was followed by frozen so the freezing of the bank accounts, I believe you are trying to write, and seizure of properties of Menzgold, CEO Nana Appiah Mensah directors and management. Okay, now let me take you on this. Did they say anything about this? The fact that they frozen the bank accounts of Nana Appiah Mensah and the seizure of properties of him and the directors?
They duly acknowledged that they are, but they were
they are doing that.
They are doing that, but they were not able to disclose because when you come to the main points, okay,
we'll get there.
Yes, we were asking them to make available and publish the amount in the accounts, but they were they said for that one they cannot do it because the law does not permit them to do so.
The only thing what I want to just make clear is that they did admit that they have frozen the bank accounts. They have seized some of the properties of Menzgold. Okay, so that's done. And then you go on to say that however, customers do not know how much money and the total assets / properties recovered. We therefore respectfully demand, number 1, that EOCO makes available to customers and publish all frozen accounts of Menzgold. Number 2, that EOCO publishes all seized assets and properties, including the private jet. Number 3, that the leadership of CACM should be part of decision making in resolving the Menzgold issues. Number 4, when will the assets be sold? So 1, you are asking them to publish the frozen accounts of Menzgold. They say that that is not going to happen.
Yes, they said per the law they will not be in the position.
They won't be able to do that. And you're also asking them to publish all the seized assets and the properties. They're saying they can't do that as well.
They said they can't, but they admitted that they have indeed seized some assets. Some are even landed properties that there are other security people who are guarding those assets.
Okay, they've seized the asset, but they can't give you the information. Okay, and then the leadership, you want to be part of decision making in resolving Menzgold issues. Exactly what do you want to do? Because
we believe that we have the problem, and the best approach is that if we are part of the resolution process, the process of resolving the issue.
You're already a part of it, aren't you? You are leading demonstrations.
We went further to say that it appears the flow of information, had it not been our visit today, we wouldn't have known that Menzgold is not investigating NAM1 per se, but they are acting within the remit of the laws that they can go for a freezing order, preservation order to preserve the asset. So that is one of them.
So where exactly do you want to be, the leadership of the coalition? Where exactly do you want to be in the scheme of affairs?
For instance, even though they told us they were not in the position to disclose the asset, but we still believe there is a way out. The reason why we are doing this is that, you know, this is Ghana, this is Africa. If we know that, let's say 100 vehicles have been seized, like the allegation that my colleagues were making, that what they were saying.
It's an allegation they're making. They're alleging that there is somebody in authority trying to take over the assets, right?
So if you and if I, the customer, and the media is published that we have 100 vehicles that are seized,
then you can track it.
Then we can track it, so that all of us will keep an eye on it, so that in the near future, when it comes out that the 100 asset is now 80. Then we would have to ask questions. And I think this is all part of the processes of enhancing our accountability process.
What did they say to this request?
They said that the law do not permit them unless a court orders them to do.
Okay, will you go to court?
Parliament, we believe that our representative is there, so we are thinking of if we can use that route, so that I'm sure the Minister of Interior, EOCO works under the Ministry of Interior or National Security. I'm
not quite sure about that, but
so
it's
probably ministry that they fall under, I'm sure the minister or whoever can give that information to our reps in Parliament. And
but if they're saying that a law court can make them do so, would you consider going to the court to get them to do so?
It's also an option open to us.
It's an option. Is it an option you are willing to explore? Are you taking it?
We are yet to meet on that.
You are yet to meet on that. Fair enough. And you ask, when will the assets be sold? Did you get an answer?
That one too, they said it's not within their remit, because when they finish their work, they will have to go to the Attorney General.
Very well.
And the Attorney General will have to go to the courts for if there should be a liquidation process. But there was another issue about the private jets. And
that you discussed with the
EOCO. We discussed with the EOCO.
Tell us about it.
And they were not definite, because we were picking information that initially it came out that the jet does not belong to him. But later on, we were also hearing some information that it actually belonged to him. Okay. And so that is where we are now. We are still monitoring the event as we speak. Our information that it's not, the jet is not even in Ghana. Okay. It's in London. It's in London. Yes. Did EOCO confirm or reject the notion that the private jet belongs to him or belongs to someone else? Did they confirm? They could not give us a definite answer, but they also indicated that they are also pursuing that issue. Looks like there's been a lot of indefinite here for you. Yes, for us, and that is not quite satisfactory, even though they were open to us and they were willing to engage us anytime we go there for information. Hang on for me. Let me bring Amanda into the discussion. Amanda Clinton is lawyer for some of the customers. She joins us via Skype. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, thanks for having me. Very well. Amanda, I trust you're doing well. What update can you give from your side of the story about as far as what this Menzgold saga is concerned?
Well, a few weeks ago, I met up with the outgoing head of EOCO, and he said to me that EOCO has no powers in terms of freezing, or in terms of liquidating assets. And so he was going to send the file to the Attorney General's Department in order for a final opinion to be written and for it to be determined, who should liquidate assets as well as share it with customers.
Did I give you an idea how long this is going to take?
No, he didn't give me an idea.
Yeah, are you satisfied with that, or are you pushing further to get some more concrete information on this?
Well, we're sort of fighting an uphill battle at the moment because from the 14th of August, EOCO issued a criminal complaint with attachments, and yet it took over 5 months in terms of freezing of the assets. That's a lot of time to sell a house, even 3 times over. So although we're fighting an uphill battle, we just hope to get as many judgments from our clients and then look for additional assets.
How many are your clients, Amanda?
We've got quite a few clients. I'd say under 100 separate applications.
Okay, about 100 applications. So this afternoon now, the Menzgold, the coalition of Menzgold aggrieved customers had written a petition which they presented to EOCO. I'm wondering if you have seen it. If you haven't, let me just take you through the things that they were demanding and the kind of responses they've had. First of all, they wanted EOCO to make available to customers they wanted EOCO to publish the frozen account of Menzgold. That's one. Number two, they wanted them to publish the properties, including the private jet owned by, known to be owned by him. Number three, they wanted to be a part of the decision making, as they say it. And then they wanted to know which assets have been sold. They've had very indefinite answers to this from the EOCO. EOCO actually says their role was not to investigate Menzgold. Their role was to preserve the asset. So in future, if there is a court order for the asset to be sold to service, these investment, then they could do so. How do you respond, or what's your reaction to this?
I think the customers are completely right in terms of wanting transparency, because anywhere in the world, when such a situation happens, you have third parties like PricewaterhouseCoopers or other sort of auditing companies managing the assets, being transparent about the assets, and being part of the process. So it is alarming that we don't have an idea of the assets, we don't have an idea of the value, and we don't have an idea of when it was collected. All we know is it was collected 5 months after the criminal complaint and attachment. So the customers are right.
The customers are right. Where do you think this case can go from here?
Well, again, as I said initially, this matter is probably going to go right up to the election because it affects every level of society. You know, from the person selling on the street to a multi-millionaire. And a lot of people are still hiding in terms of not letting people know that they are part of the customers. And so although Menzgold has sort of gone back and forth about the amount of customers they had, I literally think that we have a pandemic almost in our hands in terms of, you know, customers were from most of the banks in Ghana were leaving those banks in order to invest in Menzgold. They were liquidating assets, they were borrowing money from abroad, and this was just the tip of the iceberg. So I do think the transparency is needed, and the government can't just sort of say, okay, well, if we keep quiet about this a bit longer, it's going to blow over. I think this is intelligent to the public, and they will take this to elections and hold people to account because there was too much of a delay in terms of the freezing of assets.
My final question to you, Amanda, will be how you respond to the CID, the head of CID, who says that Nam1 has been arrested. Of course, he was arrested. We know about the arrest in the UAE, but she's also saying that he was released, but afterwards rearrested. Do you have any idea the whereabouts of this gentleman?
No, but the suspicion is that he's in custody.
What was that? Say that again.
No, the suspicion is that he's in Kaswa.
He's in Kaswa.
In terms of the place.
That's the suspicion?
The least likely to find him. Yes, that is the suspicion. You know, that everybody's talking about all these international locations, but he's where people can expect him.
What makes you, what's feeding this suspicion?
No, it's just several people have sort of mentioned that it's just a bit of a ruse in terms of, you know, Dubai and different things. But I mean, most likely he would be where he feels the most protected. And he's probably hoping that this will blow over within the next 5 years for him to launch in one form or the other.
And the customer I have here in the studio seems to agree with you a lot. I sincerely do not know on what basis you both have this suspicion, but if you could give us a bit more information, perhaps the police, we can get to the police with that information and challenge the information they're giving us.
I think this is just one of the many leads in terms of Nam1's team is doing a very good job of painting the narrative in terms of Dubai, and you know, they're feeding the public every 2 weeks about payments, but in reality, most likely he's just, you know, where he's always been.
At the beginning, it felt to me as though there was a lot of optimism, especially when we heard that his accounts have been frozen, etc. Do you feel that your customers are losing it, or do they still feel this optimism?
Well, I mean, there isn't that much optimism in the accounts because for some strange reason, all government departments gave him 5 months after formal criminal complaints being filed to do whatever he wanted with his bank account. So, you know, there wasn't that much hope in the bank account, but pursuing him personally and corporately, we hope to find more assets so we can, you know, just get more from him.
Amanda, I'll say a very big thanks to you for your time, and I'm sure that we'll be needing to have this conversation as the time goes on, because you still have not reached the bottom of the end of the tunnel as yet. But thank you so much, Amanda. Amanda Clinton is lawyer for some aggrieved customers of Menzgold. I still have in the studio here with me Fred Forson. Fred Forson is a leader of the coalition of aggrieved customers of Menzgold. Fred, let's finish this conversation. You've heard Amanda there, who is a lawyer. She said that there isn't a lot of optimism there. What about your side?
Yes,
is there?
we also have same thing, but I tend to agree with her on most of the issues that she raised, and especially with the object of our petition was to call for transparency in the work of EOCO with regards to the items and the accounts
and the investigations ongoing.
Yes.
The
issue about his arrest, you know,
that's what I was going to come to. Do what kind of evidence do you guys have when you say you are doubting the information put out by the CID that he is in Dubai?
I give example. There is a daily guide report. When we hinted that we're going to do picketing. In fact, you can bear with me that for almost a month now, Menzgold issue was almost virtually dead.
It
but
went
when
down
we started
for a while.
meeting and talking about our desire to picket, then the issue started coming up again. We are also relying on tips, information from other people. We've even heard, even though unconfirmed, from people that some have cited him even in town.
So Amanda, who is lawyer for the others, say that they believe that he's in Kaswa.
I went and wrote on some of the pages that he has been cited in Ayawa, so West Wagon, because I didn't want to be very specific.
So hold on, you knew that he was not in Ayawa, so West Wagon, and you went to write.
No. What I'm saying that from the information that we heard, it's leading to the fact that some cited him there because I myself did not see him.
Okay,
but
so
the source is
saying that they saw him in Ayawa, so West Wagon.
Just that I have no other reason to doubt the source.
You don't doubt the source of your information, and they say that Namwan is in Ghana.
So that is it. But later on, then the narrative, because when we were saying that he's been here, later on they changed the narrative that he's been jailed for 2 years. Then when we persist with our message that we were going to do the picketing irrespective of the news coming, the next day Daily Guide published a story that he's been freed. When you read the Daily Guide account, I even said it's a collection of social media stories that have been pieced together.
And does that confirm or reject your
It's not very convincing.
Position?
Yes, it doesn't confirm.
I mean, does it confirm your position that Namwan is in Ghana, or does it?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
The Daily Guide report says that
he's in Dubai.
He's in Dubai. Yes.
I see.
But it doesn't confirm also. So at the end, you see, Gifty, the reason why we want the government to pay attention to this issue is that we are dealing with an amount not less than 350 million cedis that were invested into a Ghanaian company. It was invested in Ghana. I'm sure that amount, one way or the other, helped this Ghanaian economy. So we put this money into a Ghanaian company, a registered company, a duly licensed company in Ghana. And for 8 months now, we are not getting our monies. People are dying.
You write in your petition that about 50 people have died.
We have reports.
I mean, people die every day, to be honest.
Yes.
So how do you link that to the fact that
for instance, there is a lady on our platform. Her sister was taken to the hospital in a very critical condition. She even contacted NAM1 and some of the management members that the situation, because the sister was also a customer of Menzgold, that even they should give her a part of the money. That arrangement was going on, but they delayed, and the woman passed on. So we have several examples. Last week, we also heard a story. Somebody called me and said that they attended a meeting. Even one of our leaders died in Takwa.
I see.
Yes. So the story about 15 people dying, we have...
No, I mean, 15 people can die. 15 people of your members can die. But as to whether you can directly link their death...
As you mean...
No. I mean, to be fair, as whether you can directly link their death to the money locked up, that becomes
people
another issue.
People can die out of shock, isn't it?
I get that. That's true.
So the news that you have about 550,000 locked up. I know.
But when you say you use that to make a point and the people have died, then you need to go a bit further to prove to us that indeed they died because the money.
We are just putting just as I said, people can die out of shock.
That's true.
And so if the thought of losing that amount in
you believe that's the reason why they have died? That's fair enough. Fair enough. Mr. Forson, thank you very much for coming and going to the future. What's the plan? You're going to petition the courts or parliament?
Yes, they've given us some direction, so leadership will sit down and look into it, because now petition, we said EOCO is the first point of call. Now EOCO is saying that their work will end at the AG's department, so AG department will be the next point of call.
Okay.
We want to fast track the process. That whose duty is it for customers to be paid? Now that the work of EOCO will finally go to the AG department, we are going to go there.
Mr. Fred Forson is a member of the coalition, and one of the leaders of the coalition of aggrieved customers of Menzgold, joining us with his perspective. We also had Amanda Clinton, who is lawyer for some of the Menzgold customers, joining us for this discussion. We're still